I filed for divorce. I'll be taking the house and the car. I know it'll be tough, but hang in there. I'm not sure how much time you have left, but still, I hope you can push through. It might sound like kind words, but in reality, they were sharp and cutting. His smile at that moment hurt me more than anything. How could he do this to me? Dumping me when I'm sick. Wasn't our promise to face challenges together? I can't stop crying from the shock of his words and attitude. There's no way I can forgive him. I intend to make him feel my pain, even if my body can't bear it anymore. I won't stop. This firm determination is telling me the start of my next step, a journey of revenge. My name is Anna. At 45, I've always taken care of my family as a typical housewife. I used to enjoy every day with my husband, Tom, just like old times. We met through a friend's introduction. He has always been sociable, able to connect with anyone. In the beginning, when I was a bit nervous, he reached out to me with a warm smile. I quickly opened up to him. Our days together were as sweet as colorful candies, so delightful that I'd lose track of time. I genuinely wished to spend even more time with him. And maybe he felt the same, as he cherished our moments together too. It's hard to believe now, but we loved each other so much and promised to marry. Living with him felt like a dream. Every day was sparkling, and I believed we would always share smiles in the future. But as time went on, he began to change. Probably the stress from his job. Truth be told, his salary isn't that high. He didn't obtain any specialized qualifications when he was in school and doesn't have a high academic background. That limited his job choices. I suggested trying a new job a few times, but he always responded with a somewhat reluctant "I'm good for now." Well, I'm working full-time, so we don't have any financial issues currently. But what if we have a child, or I get sick and can't work? To relieve such anxiety, I made a suggestion. Tom, my company's short-staffed in administration. You don't need any special qualifications. You just need to know the basics. Interested? One day, a friend from my company's HR told me about an opening in administration. I thought he might be interested, so I suggested it. I felt this was a suitable opportunity for him, maybe even a chance to change his current challenging job situation. But his reaction was cold. "Why are you making decisions about my job without asking me? I chose this place myself. Are you saying there's something wrong with it?" I was like, wait, what? I just made a suggestion thinking about his future, but why is he so upset? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you with that sudden proposal. I've just been worried that the conditions of your current job seem a bit tough. I thought maybe this company would be a better place for you to work, you know. I genuinely suggested it because I cared about him, but it seems he didn't take it that way. Just because you're my wife doesn't mean you can just butt into my career decisions. As if you were a stranger. I have my own farts, you know. As he walked away, I murmured to myself, a stranger. That word resonated deeply with me. I am his wife, and we are a family. Yet his current attitude and words didn't seem like they were meant for family. A crack seemed to be growing between us, and it felt like it was widening rapidly. Tom had also been hard on my family. My mother is a truly kind person. When I was often away from home due to work, she regularly visited our house to clean and cook delightful meals, storing them in the refrigerator. It was her way of asking, "Are you okay?" Grateful for her kindness, I often invited her over for dinner. But lately, Tom seemed to be getting irritated with my mom. When he came home and saw her in the living room, he'd snap, "You're here again." Both my mother and I were taken aback by his remark. It made me think about my relationship with Tom and our future. How could we bridge the growing gap between us? My mother said with a gentle smile, "It's all right, Anna. If I made you feel uncomfortable at home, I apologize. I'll leave earlier today." It hurts so much to hear her say that, especially when she's gone out of her way to help us despite her busy days. Hold on, Tom. Think how Mom feels. She's always looking out for us. Please show her a little respect. Tears welled up in my eyes, changed the room's atmosphere. Remembering all the times my mother had brightened our home, I couldn't understand why Tom would speak to her that way. When I come home after working hard every day, I just want to relax. It's tiring to be with someone else all the time in my own house. Do you understand that feeling? I tried to understand Tom's point, but I couldn't let go of the appreciation I felt towards my mother. I honestly didn't think I was wrong. The truth is, it felt like Tom was being more stubborn, but I wasn't sure how to tell my feelings in a way he'd understand. My mother said, "Don't worry about it. If everyone's happy, that's all that matters to me," and gave me a comforting smile. I felt an overwhelming guilt hearing such warm words from her. That night, as I ate the delicious meal she cooked, my emotions were a jumble of appreciation and remorse. Honestly, every day I couldn't get Tom out of my head. I spent countless nights thinking about how our relationship could improve, but a much larger challenge lay ahead. At work, I suddenly felt dizzy, and before I knew it, I had fainted. Thankfully, my colleagues quickly called an ambulance, and I was rushed to a major hospital nearby. Medical tests started, but everything seemed like a blur. I tried contacting Tom, but he didn't respond. Then I received the diagnosis: cancer. However, they caught it early, and with proper treatment, they said I'd be okay. Even so, I'd heard cancer treatments could be tough, so I braced myself for the long and challenging journey ahead. I told Tom about the cancer and my subsequent hospitalization, but he showed no reaction. His silence made me feel lonely. Yet I decided to focus on my treatment, believing that moving forward was the only way. The cancer treatment was tougher than I imagined. My health deteriorated rapidly, making me stay in bed most of the time. One day, amidst this struggle, Tom appeared in my hospital room. "How are you feeling?" he asked casually. "Well, it's pretty rough. It might have been a bit easier if you were by my side," I replied half-jokingly. To be honest, I was a bit annoyed by his attitude. Why hadn't he come sooner? His support could have made a world of difference during these trying times. Instead of feeling happy about our reunion, I found myself irritated, reflecting on our past. Then what he said next left me genuinely shocked and stunned. "I filed for divorce. I'll take the house and the car. I know it's tough, but hang in there. I don't know how much time you have left, but I hope you'll keep fighting." "Wait, are you serious?" I exclaimed. "Divorce?" A whirlwind of questions raged within me. Didn't we promise to always stay together? I always thought that true couples would overcome challenges together. Tom's words confused me, and I could feel my feelings for him waning. "I don't need him anymore. I'll move forward on my own. I'll just forget about him," I whispered to myself. I decided he would regret underestimating me. But first, I needed to end our relationship properly. "I get it. I'm sorry for everything. Keep the house, the car, whatever. If you want compensation money, I'll pay. Thanks for everything." Tom looked a bit surprised at first, but soon showed a smug smile. "I didn't expect you to accept it so easily. I thought you'd throw a tantrum. Anyway, take care of yourself, and don't bother inviting me to your funeral." I watched him leave the room and couldn't stop smiling. He doesn't realize he's fallen right into my trap. It'll be interesting to see how his life changes now. I called a colleague from a company I knew. "Hello, long time no talk. I have a favor to ask. Can you help?" At first, he sounded surprised, but once I explained, he said, "All right, let's give it a try." Everything was set. Imagining Tom's shocked and anxious face made me smirk. This new sense of excitement even boosted my motivation for my medical treatment. A few days passed. One afternoon after my treatment, I noticed that my cell phone had received 200 calls from Tom. The thrill of waiting for his call was fun. Once I calmed down, I called him back and heard his shaky voice. "Anna, help me. I never expected this. Please." Imagining his distressed voice made me chuckle. This situation was exactly what I had planned. Over the phone, with his frantic voice in the background, I pretended to sound concerned. "Tom, tell me what happened." He took a deep breath and said, "My name's on the company's layoff list. I can't believe this is happening." Listening to him, I smirked, thinking everything was going just as planned. The person I had contacted that day was the head of sales in our company. I had asked him to reconsider the business dealings with Tom's company. At first, he was confused, but looking at the transaction history, he decided it was best to choose a different partner. That's why Tom's company started calling me. That's when I decided to share something I had kept to myself. "You know the rumors in your company about you and the new girl. Everyone likes her because she's so cheerful. There are whispers about an affair. Is that true?" I could hear disbelief in Tom's voice. "Are you serious? You can't possibly. This has to be some kind of joke." His surprise was understandable. After all, who would think an ordinary employee could interfere in his work? Surprised. "Well, I'm actually the CEO of this company." There was a pause. I could tell Tom was speechless on the other end. "It's no lie. That's how we've lived so comfortably. My annual income is around $1 million. Your regular salary wouldn't have been enough to satisfy your shopping habits, right?" The truth is, Tom's spending habits are out of control. The $1,400 allowance he gets from me is like a second salary to him. Yet every time he runs out, he comes to me with a sweet voice, asking, "Can I have a little more?" At this rate, the money he gets from me might end up being more than his actual salary. Most people would have given up on such a luxurious lifestyle with him and looked for a more stable life. But I earn $1 million a year. So giving Tom a $1,400 allowance every month isn't a big deal for me. Yet I always wondered what he spent that money on. "Tom, yesterday was payday, wasn't it? I've always given you extra money on payday, but it might be difficult from now on. We aren't a couple anymore. It's only natural he can't expect that monthly allowance since we're divorced." I wonder how he's going to survive from now on. Oh, be careful with the mortgage on the house. It's $2,000 a month. I know it'll be tough, but manage it well. If you're late in payment, you might have to leave the house. While a $2,000 loan isn't a burden for me, it's a significant amount for Tom. From his reaction, I could tell he was confused. He kept expressing his disbelief, saying things like, "Really? And that's crazy." What I said was the truth. This is the result of the effort I put in to keep our sweet days alive. Yet he took advantage of me when I was by his side and pursued only his desires. Maybe it's time he faces the consequences of his actions. Why did it come to this? I've been laid off, and now I have to figure out how to get by. How am I going to pay the rent this month? Despair was evident in his voice. He must be lost, unsure of how to move forward. If I were in his position, I would find it hard to imagine a brighter future. I guess it would be overwhelming and confusing. But this situation is a result of his past disrespectful behavior. If he had acted with genuine care for me and my family, things wouldn't have turned out this way. This is the outcome of the choices you made. If you had truly given us respect, you wouldn't be facing such troubles. Tom remained silent. Maybe he had nothing left to say. I felt mixed feelings of pity and amusement. Is this it? Can I hang up now? Suddenly, he said in a panicked voice, "Wait, can we, just one more time, reconsider our relationship? I know it might sound selfish, but I truly realize now how important you are to me. Start over with him." Just the thought made my heart race. After all the pain he caused me and dumped me in the end, the idea of going back to him felt daunting. He took a deep breath. "I know I've been reckless lately. And about your illness. I'm really sorry I couldn't come and see you in the hospital more often. But once you're better, let's go somewhere peaceful and have a relaxing time together. I want to see your smile again." His words felt nostalgic. I remembered similar words he said the day he proposed. "If we're together, every day will be filled with laughter. Let's get married and build a happy future together." Back then, I was so caught up in his words that I dove headfirst into his world without thinking. But married life was a bit tough because of his addictive spending. Maybe if I had tried to understand him better, I might have made a different decision. Tom's voice turned weaker. "Anna, I can't live without you. I want to be by your side and get over life's challenges together. Can we start fresh, just one more time?" His voice was filled with sadness, even shaking a bit. But thinking about our past, it was hard for me to believe him. "Stop it already. We're done, aren't we? I've chosen a new path. So I can't go back." I said this clearly. There was a slight sorrow in his voice. I could sense he genuinely wished for me to go back to him. "But please, let me say one last thing. I truly loved you, Anna. So if you ever change your mind." The old me might have run back to him hearing these words. But now I've made a decision about my future and our relationship. I won't be swayed by his sweet talk anymore. Enough already. Words like that won't change my mind. Think about it. You have another girlfriend, right? Shouldn't you spend more good time with her? I knew about Tom dating another woman through information from his boss. Since learning that, his words of "you're special to me" meant nothing. I figured he'd say anything convenient to anyone. It's really frustrating. He comes close when he needs something and quickly turns away when things get tough. Only when he's in trouble, he asks for help from other people around him. We can't be together anymore. Spend quality time with her. Forget about me. I won't be reaching out, but if there's anything, speak to my lawyer. Take care of your health. Anna, please reconsider. I can't bear living without you. You're the only one who believes in me. His words seemed genuine. Letting him go would probably mean his life gets tougher, but that's his choice. I have my own life to move forward with. Tom, I want you to move on to living on your own feet. I hung up. I then adjusted my settings to prevent any contact from him. According to my lawyer, Tom was repeatedly desperate to see me again. My decision was firm, so the lawyer respected it, providing no details about me. Unexpectedly, my lawyer suggested claiming damages. At first, I hadn't considered it, but then I felt it could be a way to get compensation. I knew Tom and his affair partner weren't rich. There were rumors about Tom having serious debts and working hard to repay them. Upon investigating his affair partner, I found she'd run from financial issues. When I contacted her family, they were furious and had her working hard at home. Actions always have consequences, and it seems they're facing theirs. Now I've overcome the great challenge of cancer and am fully recovered. I dedicated a lot of time to treatment, and my speedy recovery even surprised the doctors. Returning to the office, there was a letter on my desk from the supportive sales manager. His heartwarming words touched me. When colleagues heard I was single again, some kindly offered to set me up. But given my past marriage, I want to cherish my time a bit more.